Hello and welcome to Minecast Podcraft, a Minecraft podcast. I'm your host, Mara Jade, and you are currently listening to the second episode of my podcast. Today I have with me your favorite Minecraft cat boy and streamer. He just recently turned 18 and hit 4,000 followers and resides in the United States. He started streaming seriously last November, and since then he's produced some quality streams from playing Bed Wars and being the grand owner of the Catboy SMP. He's an up-and-coming creator that you do want to keep an eye on, and he's creating a world without limits, one piece at a time. His name is Laterment. Sweet. So how is your day going so far? You just finished stream, right?
Yeah, I just finished stream. So what happened is today, because today is January 16th, currently at time recording, I did a charity stream for a little bit for the current event that happened in the Midwest, which is actually a snowstorm that happened this Valentine's Day weekend. So it's just it was a lot, you know. We kind of talked, me and my friend Quinn actually. We ended up playing Bed Wars for a little bit. We were just chilling out, and after that, I just kind of chilled out on the Catboy SMP. Got a little deep about some spicy drama and stuff that happened a month back or so, and we're just chilling, you know, as one does daily in the life of a catboy. Every once in a while, I try to do something that supports either my community or other communities, events, things. So during my streams, every stream that I do have a goal to have 10% of any donations made to go to the Trevor Project, which is a organization, the biggest organization actually in the world that supports LGBTQ youth, and it's a suicide prevention. It's really just a really cool charity that I am really well affiliated with. But yeah, I'm always trying to do stuff like that, and I'm always trying to innovate in what I do, whether it is my content and other things, and I'm always trying to just give back however I can, whether it is just by doing something as a charity stream, or whether it's just giving somebody a moment. A moment of happiness can go a long way for a lot of people. So it is what it is at the end of the day.
So before we do get into those deep topics here, I'm just going to explain for a couple people at home who are only tuning into this second episode here what this podcast is going to be all about. It's a podcast with a visual element to it, so it's not exactly a podcast, and it's a Minecraft Let's Play with a bit more of a focus on the conversation instead of the actual gameplay. Minecraft for myself and a lot of other people has been a comfort game for quite a while now, and these days talking to somebody in person and really getting to know them is a lot harder to come by. So by opening this avenue, I'm really hoping to share some more of the creators that you love with different audiences, expose them to different people, and just give you a chance to listen to this conversation and maybe learn something from it. And for people watching along, we're going to be building Laterment a little home here on our server.
Yes. Let's get it.
Nice. So something I usually like to ask people before I get to know them is, what is something I should know about you before I get to know you?
Something that actually tends to always come up, but I am quite the tall person. Yep, 6'5". It's absolutely terrifying.
Are you really 6'5"? Or is that kind of like rounding up?
No, I'm literally 6'5", even taller than that. It's rounding down actually.
Oh my gosh.
Just the Minecraft content creators, it's very scary. Absolutely terrifying. But it is what it is, and hey, it's pretty cool.
So a couple starter questions here. I'm sure you do get it a lot on stream, but what initially made you want to start streaming?
So what ended up happening was it goes actually way back to about 2016. So what ended up happening, I can maybe it might go a little deep in the beginning, but my father ended up passing away in 2015. It's such a sad story, but I'm not gonna go that much into it because life happens and life always happens. Yeah, so what ended up happening was in 2016, I was somebody who wanted a change in my life. So I didn't have much friends. I didn't have much people who I really talked to. I just kind of existed. I was kind of a person just in the void. And I didn't know what I wanted to do with my life. But I was still like a youth, right? I just turned 18 recently. I was about 2016, that's what, 4 or 5 years ago. I was like 13 at the time, and so I ended up just kind of going on social media, using that as a way to find who I want to be. And so obviously you look at other content creators and people and you're like, this person does this person does this. How can I be like that person? You always look up to people, right? For me, when I was younger, some content creators I looked up to was like Stampy Longnose. I looked up to Dan TDM. You know, I looked up to a lot of
Mhm.
Minecraft creators because they were doing something that I always wanted to do. Obviously, you're a little kid on the internet. You want to do a lot of things. You want to kind of be like those people. You kind of want to meet those people. You kind of want to do things that can be different, and you kind of want to find just a little bit of solstice in that, or solace, however you want to say that. So I in 2016 was kind of just existing on the internet, and one day I stumbled across the Twitter account for this brand called Steakum. And now, growing up, I consumed that brand a lot. Obviously, my family, I don't know what it was with them. They were purveyors of that. So, I seen their account on Twitter, and I've seen that they didn't have many followers or anything. But I was like, that's really kind of cool because that's the first instance of me seeing brands at all on Twitter, like ever. So I seen the Steakum Twitter account, and I was like, "That's really, really cool. I really want to connect with that because that's like something that was a part of my childhood, that I kind of remembered after my father's passing away." And so I connected with that person, and little did I know, but their social media manager, his name's Nathan Albeck. He's a really cool dude, a really awesome dude, and he recently just started working for that brand's Twitter account. So I was one of the first people there to kind of be like, "Heyo," and this was in a time where brands on Twitter weren't very human. You know, people were just reaching out like, "Hey,
Mhm.
we have a deal today. We have this. We have this." But Nathan was trying to create something different on Twitter and trying to do something different. And so they were one of the first people to really just reach out and be human. And so it was such a surprise to me. And we kind of kindled a friendship over just shenanigans, you know? Like I'm a 13-year-old kid and then there's a social media manager on Twitter. It's not the average duo you're gonna get in life, but we kinda got together behind those shenanigans and kinda I became affiliated with the joke that was meat and beef sheets and all that fun stuff. So yeah, we became friends and we kinda just chillaxed. And he was actually one of the people who showed me the world that was really social media, which was interaction and connection and um just networking with people, honestly, getting people together behind one idea, one central thing. With him, it was beef sheets, and for me, little did I know, but one day in the future, it would have been just streaming on Twitch, Catboys, or just really anything that I want to do, you know?
No, that's a really nice story that you have this one role model that kind of was your sensei in a way, that showed you the way, that allowed you an avenue, that opened the door for you to get into the internet and find your
Yeah.
people here.
That is some of my general founding of just being online, or in a term that I like to use, and that is sort of an inside joke, is extremely online. That's something I like to look back on, is just being able to just looking back on those memories of just being there. And although I didn't have as much as a father figure as some might wish, um, I did have a friend, and that was the first of many, and I'm glad to have had that memory and experience of just having that, you know?
So why Catboy?
Okay.
What was it that brought you to
Why Catboy?
why Catboy? Why Nya?
Why Catboy? Why Nia? I have to think about that actually a little bit because it's like
Yeah, because
it's not that in depth. It's not that in depth as it might seem. It's like recently on Twitter within the last year or so, the Catboy joke has been something that's just been appearing and appearing and appearing.
Mhm,
And
mhm.
so, truth be told, my favorite animal is cats. So I was like, why not implement that into like who I am? Like I know like everybody has their own quirk, you know, like some people are like cars, like I'm a car person. Some people are like,
I'm an
I like
Arizona tea person.
stuffed animals. Yeah, I'm also an Arizona tea person. So it's like I'm very into that. That's kind of who I want to be. But the general term of catboy just coming around within the last year or so, as somebody that's like something I wanted to kind of express in my content because I kind of thought it would be like a little joke at the beginning, you know? I kind of made the joke like,
Mhm.
I'm gonna be a cat boy. I like cats. I'm a boy in the internet, you know? So it's like, cat boy? Yes, this is cool. So I kind of implemented that into my brand just out of a spur of a joke that happened between some friends and my chat, honestly, in the beginning. Because in the beginning, I didn't have no basis for who I wanted to be on Twitch. I didn't have no basis, or any basis for just who I wanted to be online. I was kind of existing, and once I brought that into who I wanted to be, it kind of allowed me to experience and express myself in different just forms of content. You know, it allowed me to express myself just by giving people comfort just through being that little subsequential thing on the internet, which is a cat boy. You know, I kind of took that that sort of humanization, that sort of ability, and I made that into who I am today just by sort of the joke between friends and those who inspired it somewhat.
Nice, yeah. So the Catboy is kind of your outward persona, the ideal version of yourself that you want to share with people online. Because I do know with it being a person online, you filter yourself in ways to
Yeah.
give people an image of you that might not be 100% true, but it's true enough that you want other people to idealize it to an extent, maybe.
I would say that is true to an extent, but one thing I do have to add to that is that with me being online for who I am, I try to be as transparent as possible as a person, you know, because everybody who's online is a person. Everybody who's here, whether it's me, whether it's you, whether it's any other content creator, not everybody is gonna want to be that transparent because not everybody is gonna want to express their life to the fullest extent. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't mind people knowing who I am. I don't mind people knowing about my experiences because I can have that as sort of a learning point into what I've experienced and maybe give people a little, either whether it's hope or whether it's give people just the ability to see the world in my own eyes and why I want to do what I want to do, whether it's creating a world without limits or whether it is just, you know, being me. Because at the end of the day, you're always going to be the best you can be. And for me being who I am, I can only be the best me who I am, you know? If I hide that, it's only gonna create hidden anxieties. It's only gonna create a hidden person which I won't ever be able to express online. If I'm able to express that online, um and you know, obviously there's some things you do have to keep to yourself because sometimes it's hard expressing those things. If you hide all of yourself, then you're never truly going to be able to have the outreach that you have. And that's why I am grateful and blessed to have the community that I have because I'm able to express that I am still me at the end of the day, that I'm a human and that I'm not just somebody looking for, you know, a momentary goal or looking for this or that. At the end of the day, I can lose everything I've had. You know, I've it's happened to me once or twice already. It's you can lose everything. Um, But it's not about what's lost, you know, it's about growing up, and it's about just growing past what you've lost and becoming the person you wanna be and doing the things you wanna do, you know? It's about growing up and being human, that's all life is about, whether it's online or whether it's anywhere else, it's just about being human. That's interaction, honestly. You can only be human.
And that's your goal with being online then. Yeah,
Yeah,
obviously you're gonna hide
100%.
things, but you want to be yourself as much as possible.
As much as possible because you know what, everybody in life experiences things. People experience depression, people
Mm,
experience death, people experience anxiety, and you know what, I also experience that, and I'm not going to just let that be like the untold story because people are also going to experience that. And a lot of like the one thing I appall that happens online a lot is content creators are going to be like, if you're feeling depressed, reach out to a number, but a lot of them
mm,
don't express their story, you know.
yeah,
A number can only do so much for you. Reaching out to a hotline can only do so much for you. But once you realize, the one thing you need to realize is that, like I said, you're a human. And if you're able to see that in those people you look up to, I feel like it allows you to have a bit more comfortability with actually reaching out and doing those things. And so I don't like to hide who I am because I don't want those people who are watching me or viewing me, whether it's my friends or whether it's people who might just be coming in for the first time, to be like, hey, he is this person, you know, because I'm not gonna act like I'm a person I'm not, you know.
yeah.
It's a terrible, terrible thing, and it's a disease that happens currently in the online culture of things that people act a certain way on the internet just to be seen a certain way. I don't care if I'm seen as a god. I don't care if I'm seen as a villain to the world. I just want to be seen for who I am, you know? That's all I can be at the end of the day. Is
Yeah,
just be who
being
I
able
am.
to look up to somebody or at least know somebody that has went through something similar to what you have is a very reassuring feeling, to be honest.
It
Because
definitely
I'm not
is.
going
It
to go into
definitely
myself
is.
either, but I have lost people close to me in my life, and knowing that you understand that as well, the pain, the whatever, it brings reassurance that I'm not alone with how I feel. Even if you do feel it differently, you're not alone.
Yeah. 100%. That's all you can know is at the end of the day, if you're no matter what you do, some people at the end of the day, they just go to bed depressed. Some people look to other things, whether it is a substance or other people might look to people, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and there's nothing wrong with that. You're only human at the end of the day. Life happens and life will always go on. But life isn't gonna wait for you. All you can do at the end of the day is look for that change, and that's why I do what I do at the each and every day. And literally, I try to make it each and every day. Um, and I've been pretty good with that so far because uh, I want to make people happy, and I want to have that change, like it is in my bio and anywhere else. Creating a world without limits. Time is the one thing in life that will always limit you, right? There's always going to be never enough time because time, although it is infinite, is that you have so many things in life, right? You have family, you have your own self and your thoughts and your self-care, you have friends, you have school, you have this and that and the whole bag of just everything. So, time is the one thing that limits you, but if you're able to look retrospectively at everything that's happening and you're able to address that and you're able to live life for what it is and you're able to experience those things and address the experiences as they are and not like sugarcoat them, then you'll be able to just live forward and you'll be able to continue to have change, whether it's good or whether it's bad. You got to realize that you're just doing what you're doing because it's change, and change happens. Life is full of change. It will always be full of change.
You're always changing.
You're always changing.
Here's a question then. Somebody asked it to me a while ago and I thought it was pretty interesting. Have you ever heard of the Roman boat allegory? So
I have not.
There's a boat, but one of the planks
Yeah.
rots, and you take that plank away and replace it with a new one. Is that boat the same boat, or is it a new boat now?
Well, here's one thing I can add on to that. Is you're saying if you take away a plank, right? And you're
Yes.
saying is it a new boat?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody in life, right, is gonna experience something. And there's always gonna be a change that happens in their life. But at the end of the day, think of it like adding a coat onto a coat hook, right? That coat hook's always still gonna be there, but that coat hook can have a million coats on it. It can have a million changes. At the end of the day, that coat hook is still gonna be the same coat hook. And just as a person, you might have changes happen in your life. You might have things that come and go, whether it's friends, whether it's emotions. You know, if you have depression and that comes and that goes, you know, that doesn't change who you are. At the end of the day, inside and out, you're still gonna be you. From the day you're born until the day you pass, you're always gonna be you, and you're always gonna have those memories and those experiences, and just you're always gonna be you. But just know that those experiences and those things that go on don't make you like a bad person. They don't make you um some sort of like evil just anything. Like you're gonna be you, and that's okay to be you. It's okay just to exist and
Yeah. Just
to
because
be
you have
human.
experiences doesn't mean that changes you. You're still
Yeah,
you. Isn't that a quote from
you're
Undertale?
still you. I think it might be. I played a little bit of
At the end
Undertale,
of the
not
day, it's
much though.
still you. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And they look in the mirror and they're like,
Mm.
"Oh yeah, it's just you. It's always been you."
And that's kind of how you see it then. You're
Yeah,
still gonna be you. You can change yourself as much as you want, but at the end of the day, what remains intact is the essence of you.
Yeah, what remains intact is the essence of you, and it's not about what you are in life, but it's about the memories you make along the way, right? Because a lot of people think in life that you want to become a doctor, you want to become this, you want to become that. And it's always good to have goals to do those things in life, just to become that person you want to be. But just know, no matter what you do, at the end of the day, you're still always going to be you. You're still going to always have those memories. Like I said, whether it's for better or for worse, you're still going to be there. And no matter what happens, it's okay. It's okay to have those memories and those experiences. It's okay to grow from those things because
Mhm.
not everyone experiences the same thing, but everybody in life will experience the same things you've happened or have happened to you, right? Somebody in this world will have that experience, and just know you're not alone through that. And like I said, it doesn't matter, um, like what happens. That is always going to happen. It's how you come up from that. It's how you change yourself to get better from that. And it's how you recover from that. The recovery at the end of the day is always what's going to show out the most. That's always going to be a part of your story. And that's always going to be a part of just who you are.
I had a follow-up question for that, but I feel like you already kind of answered it as well. So after the person's supposed to decide whether the boat's the same or not, then you ask, okay, you've replaced every plank in the boat now, and then you build an old boat with all those old planks, and you've got the new boat with all the new planks. Which one's the original? Which one's the real boat? And I think with what you were saying there, it's all still you at the same of the day. Doesn't matter if the
It's
boat's
just,
got a whole bunch of
yeah,
new
it's just the
features or it's
collection of
completely
memories
new.
and the collection of all that stuff that's happened. It's all just you. It's just, it may have been switched around, but it's still always going to be a part of who you are. Whether it's a memory or whether it's something that's happening right now,
Mm-hmm.
you're still going to be you.
How's the house looking so far?
It's looking quite well. I don't normally build my houses like this. Normally I have them with like oak and just stone and stuff like that. Like kind of like this one over here that you said,
Ah,
what's her name? Frog
Toad.
built, I think it was. Toad. Sorry for misnaming you, Toad. But yeah, I normally build my houses like this, except on the bottom layer, I do stone kind of like over here.
Oh,
And I
okay.
normally do like stone roofs and stuff, and I tend to experiment with like different, like making it a different shape instead of making it like sort of like a box. But I do like this house so far. It's quite stunning, as one
I'm
can say.
not too experienced with building, but I read that your favorite blocks are birchwood and polished diorite, so I got a stack of polished diorite.
Polished diorite is a really nice block. Although like diorite itself kind of looks weird, polished diorite has this little bit of an aesthetic to it. Like the thing I like about it most is the dark gray outlines on it. I think it makes it stand out a lot more in the world of Minecraft, because not a lot of things have these
Mm,
outlines. A lot of things have this like connected texture design. Like if you look at cobble, it kind of just flows together. It doesn't have something that keeps it out from what it is. So I don't know. Like I do enjoy plush diorite. And what was the other block you said?
birchwood.
Birchwood. I do like birchwood. It's quite nice. It's very simple. It's very um I honestly I don't know what to say about it. It's just a nice looking block. It's very
Nice.
simple. It's very clean.
Very pastel aesthetic.
Yeah. You can add a lot to it,
So
or add a
what are
lot with it at
your
least.
sorry. So what are
No, it's
your
okay. It's okay.
goals in the short term then? Yeah, your goal within the next year or so.
Within the next year, I do have a few goals as other creators would. Like I kind of want to have hit certain follower amounts because it's like, it's just I look to grow my community because I want to be able to impact more people's lives. I want to be able to do more things. And so right now I'm at 4K. I know in January I doubled my following from 2K. So by the end of this year, right now, so February has slowed down a little bit in the terms of just growing on Twitch and anywhere else. But by the end of this year, I can see myself at around 15 to 20K on Twitch, maybe more, maybe less, who knows. But around there, that is a goal I have, just to have my community in that area. And just growing my community. That's all I want to do this year, is just being able to impact others' lives and just have a good time with that. and maybe just do some quite awesome collaborations. I don't have people who I really want to collaborate with yet because that's like something I'm still working on, especially since this month has slowed down. It's given me time to kind of think about what I want to do.
It's giving you time to collaborate with
But
me.
yeah, of course. But yeah, I just want to be able to do some more collaborations. I want to be able to grow my community and just have a good time while doing that, being able to impact our people's lives and being able to um impact just the communities that are on Twitch or Twitter or wherever I may reside over this next year because there's new things that are coming and going all online each and every day. I just
Yeah.
want to be able to do good and make people happy, make people proud, and have a good time within that.
Do you have any specific community goals that you do have? Because you are mentioning a lot that you do want to do the best for the community and help them as much as they're helping you.
Something I do want to do currently is that a lot of my community, right? They see me as a safe place. They see me as a comfort creator. And so something I do want to establish within by the end of this year is I want to be able to establish some sort of place, maybe not necessarily in my Discord, but some sort of place where people can reach out to me or friends or just different people, sort of like just a connection to other people where they can be themselves because that's an opportunity I've never been able to have when I was younger. My family wasn't the greatest. I didn't have much friends. I didn't have just much people. So I want to be able to establish something where people can find other just like-minded people and have a good time with that. And not even just for my community, even if it's for like other communities. Like if you're a fan of MCYT content, I want a place where you can reach out about that isn't as toxic as some places like Twitter, because Twitter is a very scary platform.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I want to be able to do something and just have it as a place where people can be themselves. Because the one thing that has sucked this year, or the past year at least, a lot about like being online and stuff, is that there has been the whole pandemic. People have been stuck inside. They haven't been able to go to school and express themselves to their friends. They haven't been able to do a lot of those things. So I want to be able to develop whether it's a platform or whether it is like another Discord community where people can just be themselves. And I don't want it to be something that's just very exclusive. Like I know my community right now on Discord is just very much about me and my content and my friends around that. And I want to make something that's bigger than that. I want to be something where if you're an artist, you can be an artist. If you are a fan of like I said, MCYT, you can go be a fan of MCYT and just support that community there. If you want to find people who are like something I've always wanted to go into growing up, and now I'm kind of like thinking about it is like engineering. If you want to be an engineer, like reach out to people with common ideas, share your ideas, and just share some things and kind of just have a good time with that. That's something I want to do is being is be able to grow my platform and build something for the better. A place for collaboration, a place where people can have a good time, and a place where people can be themselves.
Nice. So
A
you
lot
want to
of
build
places
a
online don't have that.
collective community that's not just limited to your fans. You want to
Yeah, 100%.
expand out to bigger sizes and because yeah, I also read that you felt antisocial earlier on in your life, but now you seem
Very much.
very extroverted, very out there, loving talking to people, loving being that way. And I kind of feel that same way as well. I used to think I was an introvert, but turns out I was just around people I didn't like talking to. And now that I
Yeah,
am putting myself out there, I'm really enjoying being able to have discussions, talk to people, get to know them better, and create new opportunities and friendships. And I think that's something that you want to try and do as well, if I'm correct.
100%. 100%. I have to say something about that is, like I said, earlier on in life, I never really had opportunities for much. My family my family life wasn't the greatest. My friends, I didn't have many. I was just kind of existent. I grew
Mm.
up in a big family where I wasn't able to really express my individuality due to being either limited by having that sort of attention from my family or just being limited by um kind of honestly my family being bullies themselves about my
Yeah.
aspirations and stuff. So, it's a terrible, terrible thing. But I've realized that after all this time, as I've kind of grown up, I'm always gonna be able to do that, especially with the help of social media. I've always been able to do that. It's just I needed to sort of develop myself as a person first, which is just reaching out to my friends that I do have and be the person I want to be. If I limit myself, I'll never be the person I want to be. If I don't try to set things like such as goals, and if I don't reach out for them, then I'm always going to be limited by my mentality. I'm never going to be able to exceed past what I think I'll be. I'll never be able to have that sort of outreach, and I'll never be able to be my own person because I'll always think that I'm not good enough, or I'll always think that I'm not going to be able to make it. And that's why I feel really good about like doing my streams for Capo SMP and just starting stuff on Twitch, because it was sort of a leap of faith. It was sort of a leap of faith where I was just like, I don't know what I'm gonna do next, but I'm gonna take the bull by its horns and I'm gonna have a good time with that. And I'm gonna make it what I want it to be. And at the end of the day, if it doesn't pan out, you know what? I can always do something different. I can always just cater to some people or just do something, I can just do what I want to do in life. Um, Although that's such like a scary mentality to have because sometimes some people might be like, I can do what I want to do, and I can just like some people might not be in the right headspace for that. But
Yeah.
I know personally that I can, if I want to go to continue to be a creator, which I'm always gonna do, then I'm gonna be a creator. If I want to go do art, I will go to college and go for art because I can do that. I might not have all the opportunities in the world, or I might have not have had those opportunities, but I know now that growing up and just experiencing life that I'm able to just make the world whatever I want it to be as long as I'm able to do good with it. Because that's all I want to do is just do good.
So that's your world without limits, essentially, is it's thinking without limits. It's not limiting yourself to, oh, I could do this, but I don't have XYZ.
Yeah, exactly. You're not ever gonna. Well, I mean, let me reword that. Is you might not have XYZ. Me growing up, I didn't have money. I grew up in a poor family in a weird community where I wasn't able to reach out about things. So my limitation was finances. Limitations for other people might be where they live. Like some people might be from just a part of the world where they can't have the same lifestyle as the United States. There might be limits in life, but if you want to do something, if you want to do anything, you'll be able to as long as you're able to put yourself out there first. And it might not happen overnight, right? Some things may take weeks, months, years, decades. But if you really want something, and I can say this because I've been saying this for years. If you really want something, you gotta fight for it. You gotta make sure that's your true want and that's something that's good. And you want to make sure that that is worth fighting for. And if it's worth fighting for, give it your all. Give it the good fight. At the end of the day, whatever's stopping you, that's only gonna be a moment. And at the end of your just life, that's only gonna be a bit of a memory.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Like, you can
only just gonna
understand
be
that,
existent for time.
yeah, because I can understand that people do have extenuating circumstances which it can be difficult, but more often than not, it's your own fear and your own doubts that stop you from really excelling in what you want.
Fear, doubts, and trauma.
Yeah.
100%.
And once you're able to get a mindset that can work through that, or find a community that can help you work through that, then you can take the next step in your life, no matter where or what it's going to be. If you want to be an
Exactly.
engineer, like you said, you can study, read those books. A lot of places have libraries. Because that was a struggle with myself for a while. I kept on making excuses as to why I couldn't do things. And a lot of it was like, oh, I don't have time to do YouTube, so I'm just not going to do it. And it turns
Yeah.
out I could have just been more efficient with my time. And even if that
Yeah,
had
you could
been
have always done
difficult, I
something
could have
different.
been a bit more self managing and whatnot. But I'm here now.
Yeah, That's the one thing I've realized with myself is because I'm somebody who is just like all over the place. I have like ADHD, so I'm everywhere
Mm,
sometimes. Which is such a shit thing. But that doesn't make, like I said, those things that are in your life, like whether you have ADHD or whether you have like a disability or anything, that doesn't make you a bad person or anything. And because people experience that, you're not the only person in the world that experiences that.
yeah.
Um, Sometimes you just gotta take things one step at a time and just be who you can be. I've been trying to be a content creator. I can actually say this. I've been trying to be a content creator since about the 5th grade. Now
Mm,
that is 7 years. 7 years of me trying to do stuff. My YouTube channel has been up since about the 5th grade, but there's 0 uploads on it right now, right?
yeah,
0
there's just the
uploads,
music, right?
300 subscribers. Yeah, there's like quote unquote music, but it's just like ambient sounds and stuff.
Yeah.
I've made my off time because it's like, what else do I have to do? It's just random stuff trying to see what I can do with what I have, trying to see what I can do with the tools that I have. But yeah, I've had my YouTube channel since like the 5th, 6th grade. And I've always wanting to be a content creator. I've always wanted to do that. That's something I've talked to my friend Chris about, who I've been friends with since kindergarten. That's something I've just tried doing in so many ways. And although it hasn't stuck every way as I had wanted to, I've been able to iterate on that each time that I do it, look at each failure that I may have, had, and just take that all that experience and make it into who I am today. So, I didn't ever think Twitch for me was gonna be a thing, live streaming, because it's like, that's something that's very that's as clear as day, that's as you can be, right? Um, it's very in the moment, it's very interactive, and it's kind of a scary thing sometimes. But
Mm,
when I kinda set my foot out on Twitch, I didn't expect much to come from it. I started actually, you at the beginning of the stream, you said I started November, and I don't know if you meant, like, seriously? Yeah, but I started streaming, like, full, like, just doing it, or at least not just doing it, but, like, I started streaming in August, right? It was, like, August 22nd, between August 22nd and the 26th, and so I didn't expect anything to happen in the beginning. I started by playing Fall Guys, right? Like, I
mhm.
don't know why I chose that. It was just something that was big at the time, and I thought it would be cool. And at the end of the day, if I had one person join my stream or if I had a million, I was just having a good time. And I'm always gonna have that big mindset. If I have a lot of people in my stream, then that's awesome. I'm able to impact more people's lives, and I'm able to have a good time, and I'm able to experience my moments of life with my community. I'm able to experience those moments with a lot of people and just have a good time within that. And at the end of the day, even if that stream or that moment isn't the best or isn't the greatest, I know I'm still able to make people happy. I'm still able to have a good time, and I'm still able to just to do what I want to do. And so, like I said, taking a step of faith in everything that I do, just trusting and believing in myself is what has gotten me to where I am today. With streaming, I spent the last like few $100 I had to my name because, like I said, I grew up in a poor
Mhm.
family. Um and I never really had money or resources for things. So I took any cent that I had and I invested it into a PC. And I kind of just I went full force with it. I went full force. Um because I wanted to have a good time with friends, number 1, and I wanted to be able to make people happy, and that's what I try to do even on Twitter and stuff, although I'm not always the most, coherent person due to just me spewing out trying to make funny tweets or do things. Sometimes it's hard, but it's not like I'm gonna hide who I am on Twitter or anything. Like I said, because I keep going back to being like human and stuff, is that everybody has their ups and everybody has their downs. And for me as a content creator, the tweets that I make, the things I do on stream, they're very me. They're very close to who I am. And although they may not be the most personal thing, they're gonna definitely be 100% me. They're definitely gonna be something that is just as close to me as I can be. Um, and whether it's a post just about something where it's like, look at what's going on in life, or whether it's something that's supporting things I care about, such as LGBTQ rights and stuff like that. It's definitely going to be something that you can see is very Latterment-esque, is very John. you know?
Mm.
And I just want to be me. Like I said, as transparent as can be. So it's pretty cool. It's pretty fun, as one can say.
Oh, it is very cool. So, what was the build up to getting that PC then? Because you said that you put every last cent that you had into it. What? A leap of faith is a terrifying thing. How were you
Yeah.
able to do it?
So for me, what it was is that, like I said, doing what I do, or like how I grew up, like being not from like the most like prosperous family, is that my leap of faith was taking something, taking the money I could have had to use for getting a driver's license or doing this or that, and putting it into something and putting it into myself, kind of just finally being like, okay, I want to do this, but I'm not just going to do this to do this just because it's a good time. I want to do this to see what I can do. And you know what? If I did that and it didn't work out, then I knew I could always just sell it off and, just like I said before, change things and just do something else with my life. But I took every cent that I had and got in a car with my sister's husband, and he was just kind of like, "Hey, you want to do this?" Like, and I was like, "Yeah, yeah, of course," because that's something I've been wanting to do for years and years and years. And so it did take that faith. I've had that faith for years, but in that moment, just kind of looking at everything and being like, "Am I able to finally do this?" and sort of just investing into that, it felt very surreal, and it was very just close to who I am. It was very me. It was very, if I can say, John-esque. Um, so I kind of just wanted to do that, and I set my foot forth in that and didn't really back down because I have had a lot of anxieties about being a content creator. I've had a lot of anxieties about just doing things in life in general because I felt like I might not be good enough. Um, or I might not have the opportunity to do that. And you know what? Once I started giving a lot of those things up and was just like, I am only human and that I can only do um what I want to do, it has freed me a lot because it has allowed me to realize that I'm here, I'm existing, and at the end of the day, what's stopping me from really doing what I want to do?
Yeah.
Not much, not much. Nothing really. I mean, yeah, there might be people now who come into my streams and who might troll. There might be um the subtle thing in life where it's just like you have to take a break for a few days, and that's
Oh,
like
yeah.
okay. There might be this and that. But at the end of the day, nothing's really stopping me from doing what I want to do or just being me. Like I said, you can only be the
Yeah.
best you at the end of the day. You can only be the
You
best
can only
version
be
of
you.
yourself. Yeah, you can only be you.
So just
So,
be the best you if you can only be you.
yeah, be the best you if you can only be you, and just be you and be the best you can be, right? Um, know what's limiting you and just try to look around that. And if that's really stopping you, um, at the end of the day, if it is a big issue that's gonna like mess a lot of things up, obviously recognize that. But if it's something that you can definitely like change, just do what you want about the situation, address it, but give all the fucks up that you can and just do that. Like, if that's something you really want, put yourself into it. Put yourself into those shoes and begin to start that change. Begin to start that change and just have a good time with it?
Hmm. Nice. I'm also
Mm.
curious. What was the feeling when you got the PC? Because I know when I started getting all my stuff together, I was absolutely terrified. I didn't know if I could do it. I still have days where I'm just like, I could just give it all up now and pretend it never
100%.
happened. But when I do it and get into it, it feels right.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean when I say that?
Yeah,
It
100%.
feels like you're doing the
So,
right thing, you're on the right path.
yeah, it definitely does. It definitely does. So, for me, when I first got my stuff together for like streaming and stuff, um, it felt very right, and it still does feel very right because like I said, it's been something I've been wanting to do for the longest time.
Mm.
But it's like like I said, it had this very surreal feeling to it because finally having that opportunity to like put all the cards down on the table and just like just do what I do. Um, it's not something I felt like I'd ever have the opportunity to do. And even in the beginning when I had nobody really watching me or no viewers or anything, I still was like very excited for that because I knew the possibility of what's to come from that. And so I kind of put one foot in as, faith. It's always going to be, you're always going to have one foot in. And if you don't step in, then there's never going to be a way to expand upon that, expand upon those dreams or expand upon the things that you want to happen. And so I put one foot in and it was very surreal. And I just kind of got it done. I kind of got it done. And that's all I can do. Put myself out there and just see what's possible and take that leap of faith. That's all I was able to do, and that's what I did.
Nice. So now that you're on track pretty nicely for your short-term goals, what are your long-term goals looking like? Where do you see yourself 5, 10, 15, even 20 years from now?
I feel like my first long-term goal, which actually isn't that far off, is me moving just out of my home currently because I'm still living with family,
Mm.
but that's one of my first long-term goals that is going to happen eventually soon within like the next year or so. Yeah. One of my long-term goals is getting out of my house and being able to just be by myself. Not necessarily by myself, but maybe with friends, maybe with my partner because that's I just want to be able to express myself as a content creator and it's hard being limited to being with family. I want to be able to travel, be able to go out and collaborate, be able to do certain things that might not be possible at this moment. And so my next step forward is being able to get my own apartment and possibly a studio, although that is a whiles off.
Mm-hmm.
Do that. Obviously, like I said, for this year, I do have a goal of hitting like 10 to 20K on Twitch, but um long term, within the next 5 years, I can see myself definitely expanding upon that and hitting even like 100K. Like that would be such a big goal for me. But
100K
I
on
can see
Twitch?
myself getting there. Yeah, 100K on Twitch and just doing something like that and actually just starting my YouTube and taking off on there because I know a lot of people are looking forward to that and I feel like I could really do it. The one thing that stopped has always been stopping me from being a content creator is feeling like I'm not good enough. That's always going to be something that's very hard mentally. But starting Twitch and stuff has allowed me to realize that I am good enough and that I'm on a good path doing what I want to do. Um, having ADHD hasn't been the kindest thing towards me because it leads to a lot of procrastination. It leads to a lot of self doubt, because it sometimes gets me depressed. And so, one thing I need to realize within my own current like objective and goals in life is that, like I said, I'm only the best me I can be. And I need to realize that more or less, even in a deeper sense, so I can continue to expand myself to other places. Because I know just being on Twitch isn't always gonna be my thing. Like I love Twitch and it's always gonna be there. But I want to expand myself. I want to expand to YouTube. I want to expand to other platforms and just expand my community. Like I said earlier, so I can have it as a safe place for a lot of people and for a place where people can just be themselves instead of just being limited to one thing. And so a lot of people who would watch me on YouTube don't currently know about me because I'm not on YouTube. A lot of people know about
Yeah.
me on Twitch only because I started on Twitch. They would have never found me on Twitter. And so I want to be able to expand to different platforms. And currently, a few things are in the work for me to do that. So I'm really excited for that. And taking off on YouTube is a big goal of mine. And just expanding my community and working on being able to allow people to be themselves by either building a platform or a place where people can be themselves. So that's some of my goals for long-term future. Obviously, turning 20, 21, that
Ooh.
funny age where you're finally fully an adult, kind of a
Yeah.
big goal. And just living my life and being the best me I can be. Because at the end of the day, life is always gonna be weird. Life is gonna be rough and tough. There's gonna be ups and downs, but life is always gonna go on. It will always go on. I just wanna do good, you know?
You just keep
Just
going.
do good and make people happy and just keep going. Just like fucking, finding Nemo, just keep swimming, just keep swimming. That's all I can do.
You just keep saying so many like cool and interesting things that it's just like I'm taking it all in. I'm just like, wow, he's so cool. I'm just really thankful that I'm able to chat with you today because you have a very sensible mindset about this whole kind of streaming and YouTube and content thing. That's there we go. That's back on track. What are your plans going forward? What are your projects in the works?
My projects in the works, obviously, for starting on Twitch is Catboy SMP, but I want to be able to introduce that to YouTube. I want to allow people to, if they can't be in the streams, to be able to experience the lore there. And I want to be able to develop a series where it's very just like very in the moment where you can actually, in a sense, be a part of that. Like you can experience that for what it is instead of like on stream, obviously, you're going to be exactly right there,
Mm-hmm.
but I want to make it something that's a bit more personal to my ideas and goals, and I want it to be something where people can see that and just see that lore and see the community that's going on Twitch and be able to recognize that as something potentially bigger. You know, like with the lore, I'm dead. With the lore, um, there's a lot in it that is just being worked on right now to make this something that's more in depth, not just for us who are a part of it, but something for the community. Because I do want to have a close touch there with those who watch me or watch any of the other creators who are a part of that. Um, that is something I really want to do. So bringing that, whether it is adaptive versions to the streams. I was talking to my friend Quinn today actually about that, something like that. Is I like to call it memories. So the series would be called Memories, and it would be surrounding the current lore of the SMP, where it's sort of like flashes like 10-minute videos of the lore where people can really get behind it instead of watching hours and hours and hours of VODs and watching this and
Yeah.
that. And so it's kinda what I like to relate it to is kinda like Tales of the SMP from Carl Jacobs, where those are also streams, but I don't want it to be something where it's, like, massive just amounts of time where you have to, like, sit down and settle and watch. I want it to be something where people can experience those moments just right there, and not have to be there exactly for all that time, you know? Just I want them to be able to experience the world behind my eyes and sort of like a moment, just a moment. 10 minutes is a moment, you
Yeah.
know? And so, there's something like that I wanna do. There's also a, uh, a podcast idea I have, or
Ooh.
maybe it's not a podcast, but like a series, is that I want to play Minecraft with creators, and I wanna beat the game, 100% beat the game, with creators, with people who might be internet personalities, whether you've played it before or not. I wanna be able to show people what Minecraft is about and potentially beat the game because I know that at the end of the day, you can't there's gonna be a lot of energy behind it. There's gonna be a lot of things that people can do with that. Um, and I feel like whether it's somebody who's played the game before or somebody who's never touched a game a day in their life, I feel like doing some sort of podcast behind that is something that's never been really done before. And it introduces people to a whole wide world of things, you know. The anxieties that may be in this game can also be expressed as they're talking about their real world life. There can be just a lot of drama behind it, you know? It's like friends talking to friends, just like we are right now. We're
Yeah.
chatting, we're talking, you know, we're vibing. I want to be able to produce something and just be like, we're having a good time. And one thing that really inspires that is the interaction between the people on Hot Ones is something I've looked into and I've really just studied. Is that it's very human because there's a lot of tension in those moments. You know, there's a lot of tension because it is a podcast about hot wings, you know? You're
Yeah.
not like you can't just be like, "Hey, this." You're gonna be eating some spicy wings and your brain isn't all gonna be there, but
Mm-hmm.
you're gonna be very human with that. Um, Also, I'm about to be shot by a skeleton. Okay. But yeah, it's just like I want to do something that allows people still to be very human, but I want them to be able to experience different things that they may have never experienced before. And so for that, that's going to be a big thing. I also want to be able to bring, like I said, I know people might not always have the ability to be a part of streams. So like stream highlights and just general conversation videos to my channel would be something I really, really want to do where I can just like sit down and talk about a subject because it might be something that's very informative to somebody. Like whether it's something that's just like because I am somebody who loves information, right? Um, just I like the idea of having knowledge that you'll never need in your life, but it's gonna be knowledge that's kind of like cool, you know? Let's just go behind the idea of like the television, you know? Why did they create the television? You want to break it down, but I don't want to break it down where it's something where it's very just very plain and
Informative and
informative.
boring.
Yeah. I want to make it something that's like sort of fun and sort of like curates to my own content while even maybe adding a bit of parody to it, you know, just having a good time with it. And um kind of imitating real life within that sort of art, just having a good time within that. So that's something I definitely want to do is just I want to have a few different content formats, but I want it to be something that anybody and everybody can enjoy. Whether you're somebody in my community who is younger or whether you're somebody who may come in eventually and you're older, you know. I want it to be something that's not just very extremely high speed for everyone, but I also want it to be something that is perfect for anybody who may be coming in just so they can, you know, join that community and enjoy that content and have a good time with it.
Nice. Those are some really good goals to have, especially with creating content on YouTube, because that's what going to be one of my struggles here. Because I'm creating long form content, and people don't usually have
Yeah.
time for long form content. So by creating those shorter 10-minute chunks, you're really utilizing the platform and being able to let people see what you're all about without having them tune in at a specific time
Yeah.
or for a long time. Because I know I was trying to watch your stream today, but I've got other things to be doing, and that lasted about 4
Yeah.
hours, I think.
Yeah, so one thing I like to talk about to like my friends and stuff is they're always like, "Why do you stream at noon?" And
Hmm.
a lot of people are like, "Why? Like, just why? Why do you choose such a weird time?" Like streamers choose like later in the afternoon because people are home from school or people are
Yeah.
doing this or you know that. But the one thing that's always been a part of my channel is I'm never gonna always like I'm not gonna look to just grow. Like I'll always
Hmm.
look for growth and stuff. But I don't care about statistics to the extent where it's just like I just want to be able to be there for people. 12 noon is the perfect time for me because in the morning, right, especially during the pandemic where people are doing online school, they're able to tune in and lurk and just listen to what's going on right now. The shenanigans or whatever may be happening. I want to be able to entertain people if they're having a rough day, you know. If people are having a rough day, I want them to be able to come to my stream and be like, "Hey yo, this guy's here. He's having a good time. Let's do this. Let's do whatever." I never really even plan my streams 100%. Like sometimes I do and sometimes I don't. It's just kind of a hit or a miss. But I want to be able to allow people to have a good time. And 12 o'clock noon has been perfect for me because it's early in the morning for people on the Pacific, right? In the Pacific, because they're just kind of starting their day, you know, in school. They're able to chill
Hmm.
out and lurk and have a good time and just relax. If it's 12 noon for me, a lot of people are going on lunch break, you know. They've had maybe a beginning of a stressful day. They're able to relax, they're able to have a good time, they're able to see the Catboy on Twitch. So it is what it is. And then like for like other like I'm very conscious too about my audience and stuff that's over the seas, you know, like people from Europe and people from Britain and stuff because I know a lot of content creators, a lot of their content doesn't curate to them, and it sucks because they're not always able to be like, they're not always able to tune in for stuff like that, you know? And for them, it's like becoming afternoon for them after school, or it's becoming even like later than that. So they're able to just chillax and relax and have a good time with that. Where a lot of content creators don't necessarily curate to those people. And so I want to be there for a broader range of people, like I said, because I'm just trying to have a good time in my community and make people happy and just do what I want to do. And I feel like doing what I do now all the way. Thank you for the sand. Very cool. Just being able to do what I do now at the times I do now and all that stuff, it allows me to do those things. And like for the Catboy SMP streams, they are later in the day. They're around 7, at least once I start doing the lore streams, which will be probably tomorrow, I think. I'm pretty sure after recording. So yeah, I want to be able, like I said, because if people can't tune in for a stream, and like the lore streams are a lot easier in the afternoon because people who are part of them have more time. I want to produce something, like I said, those videos because it allows more people to tune into that. And I just want to be there for a lot of people. It gives me a lot more range, just doing those things. I think that just doing stuff at the times I do it, doing it the way I do it, will allow a lot more people to be able to adapt to that and just see that and be a part of that and take part in that, you know?
Hmm. So throughout this year, you are going to be doing a lot of collaborating. Then that's kind of your main goal: reaching out, networking, stuff like that. How
100%, 100%.
how are you going to go about that from content creators' perspective to interacting with your community?
All right. So one thing that happens to me a lot is a lot of my collaborate not collaboration, a lot of the ways I reach out to people tends to be from people who actually like raid me on streams and stuff
Mm.
because I'm able to interact with them in their communities a lot. And it's easier to do that than a lot of things. So some people I reach out to are from raiding on streams, which is really cool because then it's like we have this sort of acknowledgement of each other and we exist. A lot of the creators I reach out to though who don't raid me or may not be a part of my streams and stuff, a lot of it does happen on Twitter because I'm able just to reach out to people. And if you look at my tweets, like all my tweets ever to exist, there is a good series of me just reaching out to people by saying, "Hey, mind DMing me? Hey, would you want to talk? Would you want to do this?" Because I'm able to reach out about those things, just kind of there, and it's not to pit them in the moment, but it's just like it's a very easy platform to engage interaction, and it allows my community to like get hype stuff up. You know, it allows a lot of hype to happen, and I know a lot of my content creator friends and people who I become friends with see stuff like that, and it hypes them up too. You know, it's a general mutual hype thing.
Yeah.
And so a lot of that comes from that. And it's like what can happen. It's kind of like I said, putting a foot out of faith in content, doing stuff like that is putting a foot out because it's not just like, hey, I want to reach out to that person. It's putting a foot out thinking that maybe there might be that sort of interaction and that if something does come from that, that can be big for your community, that can be big for their community, and it could do a lot for a lot of people and it can make a lot of people happy. And hey, if you can make somebody happy, like that's one of my number one goals is just making people happy. It can do a lot. It can do a lot. So reaching out on Twitter is my number one thing. Um, a lot of it also happens in private, such as on Discord, because creators will reach out to me here and there, and I'm like, yeah, sure, cool, that's awesome, because there is a lot of things I know currently that are going on that I can't really speak much about right now. But there's just a lot of things that are happening that I've been reached out about, and it's just like sometimes it is just being yourself. A lot of stuff has happened to me recently where I've reached out to creators just because I was myself, you know? Either they like my vibe or they just want to communicate about things because some people don't always know how to go about certain things, you know, and they need like a second head for things in just life. And I'm a person that others tend to reach out to because I'm just in a sense, kinda, as my community calls me, like a fatherhead. Some people just see me as a father figure or somebody
Oh.
who might have a lot of knowledge on things, you know? It's very nice. It's very nice to be able to be there for people. It's very nice to be able to just, um, kinda give that humanity to others who might not feel that, you know?
So, what's your opinion on collaboration then? Because obviously it's mutually beneficial to everybody, but what would kind of be
Collab
your ideal outcome, maybe?
Collaboration for me is something I really do enjoy doing, although I feel like recently I've had a bit of I've been kind of stuck on it, you know? Because it's like I don't always know what to do in terms of collaboration. Like I kind of like I have ideas and things, but I feel like it's something that needs to be very mutual and sometimes it gets hard
Mm.
between creators if you can't really be direct and like talk about things. but all together, I do like collaborating because it's a very fun time for both communities involved, for both creators involved, and it just allows you, like right now, how we're expressing thoughts and feelings and just like ideas and things. It allows you to just go back and forth, and it allows a lot of things to happen in terms of inspiration to those communities. It allows a lot to happen in terms of just really anything. Like a lot of my community is made up of fan artists and stuff. And so if you're collaborating with people, right, it gives them the ability to make more art and express their craft and potentially do things like get seen by other community members or creators I collaborate with so they can get commissioned, you know.
Yeah.
Collaboration isn't just very one-on-one. It's actually very very expressive for a lot of people, and a lot of creators don't always see that. Um, you can even see it's like in like communities like the Dream community, the Dream Team community where people do fan art and stuff because a lot of those people create amazing, amazing art. But without those communities, without those friends that they made there, it may have never, ever, ever been seen, you know? And
Yeah.
a very helpful tool for those communities have been like platforms such as Twitter, where they've been able to express that art and express their just having a good time. So collaboration itself, I feels really good for creators because there is like a mutual growth off of it. Obviously, it's growing your relationship, it's growing your community, and it's also helpful to a lot of other people. And sometimes it's just not seen by creators or other people, you know? Sometimes it's just not. And I feel like that deserves a lot more recognition, honestly.
Yeah, because that was kind of my goal with this podcast as well, because I can't really do it by myself. I need people to come on and I need to force myself to collaborate.
Yeah,
And for
100.
somebody who is kind of nervous around, well, afraid of meeting new people and rejection, blah blah blah, stuff like that, what would you say is the best way to go about reaching out to people? Because I'm assuming you've done or had experience with a lot of that recently, just because of networking, how Twitch works.
A lot of my nervousness with reaching out was honestly like with anything that I do in life, it's about putting one foot in, you know? Because you're never gonna here's what you gotta ask yourself, right? At the end of the day, you put one foot in. If you don't do that, you're never gonna know what's gonna come from it. You know, you're never gonna know if that collaboration could ever happen. You're never gonna know if XYZ can happen because you didn't take that sort of step forwards in faith. And you know what? If you take that step forwards, there's not much you can lose, right? You're not gonna really lose anything. You're never gonna lose anything. If you do get the opportunity, you have everything to gain. Something that I can relate to or just put out there is like if you look at Ranbu, right? He
Yeah.
creates content on Twitch. He's a very cool person. Um, if he never created his TikToks that he has about the Dream Team and reached out about that, he wouldn't be where he is today, honestly, because he wouldn't have
Mhm.
joined the Dream SMP. He wouldn't have been a part of that, and that just would have never happened. But he is somebody who has that same sort of ideology, and he reached out and put a foot in. If you don't put a foot in, then there's never ever ever going to be any sort of growth from that. You're never going to be able to see what can happen. You're never going to be able to see the goodness of in a sense life because you're gonna sort of hold yourself back and you're gonna just say it's kind of like a woe is me thing, you know? It's not bad to recognize those feelings and things, but if you really want to do something, you really need to put your foot out there and just express yourself as being human as much as possible. Just reach out, talk to people, and you know what? If you don't get a response back, there's nothing that's being taken away from you. And if you do get a response back, you have the whole entire world to gain, you know? There's not much you can lose, whether it's a tweet on
Yeah.
Twitter or making a TikTok or making a YouTube video or um doing art. I don't know, like there's not much you can really lose.
Yeah, as much as you hear the advice, just do it is the best to give. Because
Literally.
you just have to do it. Because the more you think about it and the more you worry about the semantics of it, it becomes more and more difficult to start. Because you're setting rules for yourself. You're like, hey, I need to have a computer before I start making content. You can make a lot of things on your phone. I need a better computer to stream. Yeah, maybe, but until then, you could maybe edit videos, make TikToks, because they're a lot less CPU intensive.
Yeah.
There's always something you could be doing. At least that's what I'm thinking.
There's definitely stuff you can always do, and sometimes you might limit yourself to your equipment. You might limit yourself because it's like, hey, what if I can't do this? But the best thing you can do is just put your foot out there. And if you're scared, talk to your friends about it. Reach out to people. Reach out to content creators if you have the ability. And if not, still try to reach out, because at the end of the day, like I said, there's nothing to lose. And if they want to give you advice, you have all that advice to gain. And in a sense of connection, there's not much you can lose. There's not a single thing.
Yeah, it's just
Mhm.
working past the fear and taking that first step.
100%. Just that's all you can do at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Work past it, build up, build onwards, build upwards.
Because you're always changing, but you're always you.
Exactly. I try to be as clear as I can with all my feelings and thoughts and things, but sometimes it does get hard, with like anxiety and stuff. Like today, like I don't know why. I did get a little anxious when we first started the call, but it was just a general thing because it's like I don't know you that much, but like I'm
Yeah.
not like uncomfortable or anything. It's just it happens. Life happens, and uh there's not much you can do about that, you know? It happens, and it's crazy and it's weird and it's absolutely fucking terrifying. But it is what it is. It definitely is what it is.
I'll let you
I
know
mean,
as well, I was
hey,
also nervous. Because this is the second time
hey,
I'm doing it. You're, in my opinion, much more successful and bigger than I am. You feel above me in a way, and I'm always hesitant that you'll see through me. That I'm putting on some type of show and I'm just waiting for the glass to break and for you to see through and
yeah. Well, one thing I
not
can
respect
say,
me.
which I don't think I've ever talked to you about before, and I don't talk to about a lot of people, is I am very much a people's person. In the sense that I can very much see through people. And like
Oh.
although like I can definitely see no, I could definitely see nervousness and stuff. I'm not gonna make fun of that, because you're still a person. You're still just trying to do what you're trying to do and have a good time with that. And at the same time, I'm here and we're both gonna have a good time. There's nothing to lose or nothing bad to happen. We're just chilling and having a good time with whatever that may be. Also, I like the yellow bed up here. Kind of cool, kind of swag,
I feel like it's like a
kind of
little
awesome.
loft room. Yeah. Hang on, I've got something for you. I've just lost it real quick.
Okay, cool.
Um,
Yeah, let's go,
did I put it? Oh,
fuckers.
here it is. Cool. So, I don't know if you've been. Where are you? There you go. I don't know if you've been
I'm
inside
right here. I'm
Toad's
right here.
house yet, but I also want to give everybody on the server a little book so they can write down their
Yeah,
experience, write down some thoughts, plug their channels, do whatever. And it'll be another little reminder and some physical words to show that they were here.
yeah. I could definitely do that. I got you. I got you. I got you. I gotta make a little secret hole. You can't see what I'm writing. Yeah,
No,
let
I'm
me
gonna.
just let me just.
Okay.
Well,
It's not
no, no,
like.
you can't see what I'm writing right now. You'll get it. You'll get it when I'm done writing it. But like,
Okay.
I gotta leave a little bit of room for light for me to write. I got you. I got you. Let's just focus on this. I'm in the cat hole. You'll never be able to find me anymore. Nobody ever finds me in the cat hole. Oh, that's a sign.
There we go.
Oh, wait for Pat Cat Boys. I'm just going and take book.
Book.
Book. The final ending.
And we're coming to the end now. The book is called Thank You,
The
Chat.
end.
Today's podcast went really well, and I am glad that I was able to reach out to Maya. I'm glad that I was able to talk about my experiences as a content creator and I can't wait to see how far I may go from the date of this book's writing on February 16th, 2021. I'm only human to whoever is reading this, and you are too. Final words? Hasta la vista, baby! Put a smile on your face and just try to find happiness one bit at a time. Till next time, Jonathan Laterment. P.S. Love you all. Your Catboy. Swagmaster 2028 XX. Aww.
The Catboy hole. The Catboy hole, the thing that'll never leave this world, the little home.
Thank you so much for listening / watching this podcast today. I hope to see you in the next one. I don't have an outro right now, but if I did, I'll put it in here. Until then, goodbye.